Today, we're diving into a country that is, maybe more than any other, defined by its incredible geography. We're talking about Chile, a nation literally forged by fire and ice and squeezed into one of the most unique shapes on the entire planet.
Okay, so let's just start with the central puzzle here. How does a country that stretches over 4,300 kilometers long, I mean, that's like driving from Lisbon all the way to Moscow, but averages only 180 kilometers wide, how does that even work? And this isn't just some quirky trivia question, it's the absolute key to unlocking everything about Chile. I mean, just look at this map. This long, skinny ribbon of land is wedged between the world's largest ocean, the Pacific, and the colossal spine of the Andes Mountains. This unique shape dictates its climate, its economy, its culture, you name it. So let's break down how this geography of destiny really plays out.
All right, Section 1, a land of fire and ice. Because this extreme length creates a country of just staggering contrasts. From volcanic peaks to glacial fields, it's honestly like visiting several different countries without ever crossing a single border. The difference from one end of the country to the other is just wild. In the north, you've got the Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on the entire planet. It's so arid, they actually test Mars rovers there. But then, you travel all the way south and you enter Patagonia, a completely different world of massive glaciers, deep fjords, and cold, temperate rainforests. And the contrast isn't just north to south, it's also east to west. To the east, you have the towering Andes, this formidable natural wall separating Chile from Argentina. Then, to the west, you've got a lower coastal mountain range running right along the Pacific. So what happens when you have two mountain ranges running in parallel like that? Well, you get this, the Central Valley. This fertile strip of land is the nation's absolute heartland. It's protected by the mountains on both sides, it enjoys this beautiful, mild Mediterranean climate, and it's where most of the population lives. It's where the capital, Santiago, is, and it's where Chile's world-famous wine and fruit industries thrive.
And hey, if deserts and glaciers weren't dramatic enough for you, what do you think this number represents? That's right, that's how many active volcanoes are in Chile. The country sits smack dab on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which makes it a constant hotspot for eruptions and some really powerful earthquakes.
So, Section 2, the engine of the economy. The big question is, how does all this intense geography translate into money and power? Let's see how it built the engine of Chile's economy, literally from the ground up.
Remember that arid, seemingly lifeless Atacama Desert we talked about? Well, it turns out it's sitting on a treasure trove of minerals. And as this chart shows, copper is the undisputed king, making up over half of all exports. Chile is the world's #1 copper exporter, and it basically fuels their entire economy. You can also see how that fertile Central Valley and the long coastline contribute with exports of fruit, wine, and fish.
And all those resources, they connect this geographically isolated country to the world's biggest players. China is its #1 trading partner, hungry for all that copper, followed closely by the US, Japan, and Europe. This trade has helped make Chile one of the most stable and prosperous economies in all of Latin America. But that economic success story isn't the whole picture, not by long shot. It comes with some really deep tensions that have tested the country's stability, revealing a nation really in tension with itself. So, on paper, Chile is a stable, democratic republic with a strong presidential system, and it does have a long history of democratic rule, but that history has a very, very significant interruption. After the brutal military dictatorship under Augusto Pinochet finally ended in 1990, Chile returned to democracy and for a long time was seen as a model of stability. But then, in recent years, starting around 2019, massive social protests just erupted with people demanding fundamental change. And this right here is the core issue. While the nation as a whole grew wealthy from its resources, that prosperity wasn't shared equally at all. Many Chileans felt left behind, struggling with a privatized system for things like education and healthcare. This frustration eventually just boiled over into this powerful movement, demanding fundamental change, starting with the nation's constitution itself. Which brings us to today. How is Chile facing these challenges? Well, believe it or not, it's looking right back to its unique geography for the answers. This table really lays out the fundamental duality of modern Chile. I mean, look at this. Its greatest strengths are directly linked to its biggest weaknesses.
A stable democracy is challenged by high inequality. Rich natural resources create a dangerous dependence on fluctuating copper prices. The only path forward is to somehow use those strengths to solve these deep-rooted problems.
And this is how they're doing it. Chile is transforming its geography into a green energy powerhouse. The sun-baked Atacama Desert is perfect for massive solar farms, while the windswept south is ideal for wind power. And beneath that desert soil lies another treasure, lithium, which is absolutely crucial for the batteries in electric vehicles. This, combined with that ongoing constitutional process, represents a dual track to try and build a more sustainable and a more equitable future.
And so we end up right back where we began. Chile's geography has always been its destiny, a source of both incredible wealth and profound challenges. The ultimate question now is whether this long, narrow country can finally harness the power of its unique landscape to build a future that is not just prosperous, but one that's truly equitable for all of its people.